crypto pirates and Hexicans. How are you all doing tonight? Welcome to your Discourse Syndicate's FN Hangout. I am the captain, your captain, RG3, bringing it to you one more Friday night. One more boring ass bear market, one more Friday night. Or is it? Or is it a bear market? Are we still in a bear market? Really? Almost could have fooled me right now because it's not looking like a bear market. Really isn't. I'm still inclined to think that we've got some downturn coming, but in light of everything that's being said, everything that's being done, stuff that's happening all over the crypto space, I don't know, guys. It could be time for the big dance. It could be time for the big dance. Pretty excited. Hope all of you are. Let's say hello to everybody. It's Friday night. We're just chilling. We're hanging out. You want to come hang with us? The link, I will put the link in here. Let's post that link. There's the link. That means you come join us. For those of you who don't know, this show is for you to come air your grievances, come in and talk shit, say whatever you'd like to the captain or whoever's on the stream or out in the Twitter space or whatever. You got something to say to somebody, this is where you can come do it. But we have civil conversations. We sure attempt to. And we try and stay away from all the weirdo stuff, the woo-woo, the conspiracy theories, the stuff you guys post all over the place and feed each other, spoon feed conspiracy bullshit to each other. Oh, you guys are on a steady diet of crap. You guys ingest crap from each other. Like it's like that Centipede movie. You guys are shitting in each other's mouths all the time. It's disgusting. You guys need to stop. Get lives. Quit making shit up and believe in it and then passing it on to other people to believe. You guys suck. All of you conspiracy wackos suck. You're making the world a worse place, not a better place. You're making it a worse place. You're making people get all fucking weird, man. I've never seen anything like this generation. You guys are fucked. You're fucked because I know it ain't going to stop. It's going to get worse. You guys are going to feed into each other's bullshit and fucking centipede on each other and crap in each other's mouths and keep doing it. Promise. I know you will. And I'm going to go live my life and be happy and sail off into the sunset and live in sunshiny days and not worry about all the crap that you guys are all going to sit there and worry about for your lifetimes. Pathetic. Get a life, people. Anyway, let me say good morning to everybody. Hex down under, first into the stream. Welcome. Mel, Tony, good to have you always. Where's our price? We're at 5.5, aren't we? Ooh, 5 cent hex, baby. 5 cent hex. Do you know the crap that we got for talking about 5 cent hex back in the day? Back in the first few months hex was out, we were talking 5 cent hex and people looked at us like we have fucking lobsters crawling out of our ears. Like we were crazy 5 cent hex. There ain't no way. I was skeptical myself, but 5 cent hex is here once again. It's already here and past and beyond, and 50 cent hex hit. And whoa, who would have thought 50 cent hex at the tail end of a bull market? Wow. Crypto Surfer 369, best damn community. I agree. Doug, what's happening? Good to have you. Normal guy, Doug. Elliot, another normal guy, Elliot. Man, I'd like to pride myself on being the stream that has the most normal people names in it. Everybody should just name themselves Jake, Jack, Jackie, Susie, Sandy, all that kind of stuff. Hexbug, welcome. Hexican family is everything. We will be together for years and years to come. Let's try and get along, shall we? You know what, guys? No one, not even everybody in a family gets along. And we're not a family. We're not. We're really close. Some of us, I've made some really good friends that I can probably in the next few years consider almost family-like. I've made some good friends and some good acquaintances. I got to say that. But in my world, it takes about 5 years for me to like put my trust in somebody. It's kind of a cultural thing. We give people about 5 years to like prove themselves, and then that's when you can sort of trust them. So I always like 5 years is like the thing. So once we've been around for 5 years, I think there's some people in this community that I'm going to be able to call, family. Some of you are close. Some of you are good folks. Some of you I'd like to get to know better. That's for sure. Some of you have some really cool ideas, and you're not weirdo conspiracy nut fucking goofballs. Sandy Beach, my lady, welcome to the stream as always. Mel Tony says it's a 55335. Maybe we can get a 5555 tonight. Let's see if we get that one, Mel. Make sure we get that if it's there. Diraj, what's up? And Spork, welcome. Diraj, maybe we'll see you in here a little later. Maybe. I hope your internet's working today. And the queen of Hex, Miss Serena Alonzi, welcome to our stream. Always a privilege and an honor to have you in our chat room. Serena was, and I always make sure everybody knows who she is. She's the queen of Hex because she was the absolute first shiller of the Hex. She first shilled it. She was the first YouTube shiller. I mean, the rest of us were in Telegram and stuff, but she was like the first YouTube shiller. So always give her that respect. First in line. Crypto Millionaires with Corey Geary. Welcome to the stream. Blaine One, what's up? Kind of a normal name. Crispy, dude. Crypto Compassion. Hey, good to have you with us, man. And who else is in here? Ailey and Hexican. Sorry I'm late, Captain. Yeah, you're usually up at the top there. And hello to you, Sandy. Mama Rock. Mama Rock. Are you kidding me? That's a blast from the past. So for those of you who don't know, we used to be over on the DLives before it went wackadoodle, on everybody, and just started housing some weird stuff and then banning us and taking money from us away and for weird shit and just stupid stuff. It was weird. But Mama Rock was like one of the OGs over there on the DLive, has her own streams and does all kinds of cool stuff, and got involved with the Hexican community. And a lot of their people got in real early. They were like one of our first groups that joined in from the streaming community outside of the Hexican streaming community. And she's become like part of the family here, part of the family. So welcome, Mama Rock. Good to have you. I've seen you around a couple of times now. Maybe you're back. All right. T-Bird, what's up, my right-hand man in the Twitter spaces? UFO 42, how you doing, buddy? Be careful out there. Don't get yourself stuck in the snowbank or something, walking home from in a drunken stupor. Hey, Spike, what's happening? The original swimmer, uphill, downhill, and sideways. Hello to you. Who else is in here? What else do we got? Ross Hex, what's up? Anybody you want to talk about today, Ross? Anybody? I think maybe Toby will come in here and you can talk about Toby. Live on the D. Those were the days, wasn't it, Ross? That was some cool stuff, man. You were honing your trolling skills over there. That's for sure. El Duce, greetings and welcome. Welcome, El Duce. Welcome. All right, everybody. It's been a heck of a week. I'm excited about a lot of the things that are going on out there. It's just looking more and more like it's going to be a bull market, and let some people come in here and talk about it too. I don't know if some of you seen, but Do Kwon's back in the news. I think he removed 10,000 Bitcoin from Terra after it collapsed. So they're after the old Do Kwon. Yeah, there's all kinds of cool news. Anyway, I'm looking to see if there's actually one of them that I really wanted to look at all my news feed stuff. No political news. Garbage. so all of the financial conspiracy theorists who've loved this downturn, they've loved it. Absolutely, they've loved it. Why? Because it looks like their doom is coming to fruition. I get emails, I get text messages, and it's happening. You have 14 days. You have 10 days. I see these headlines all the time. You have 14 days left, and then all hell breaks loose. That's literal news feeds, that kind of crap. I mean, that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. That conspiracy crap bullshit. The fucking sky is falling. Man, what happened to the optimism? There's nothing changed. Nothing has changed. It's all operating the same way. All you do is have access to people who can lie to you now and tell you bullshit and look at things and call a weather balloon or a scientific experiment balloon UFOs. And that now it's a UFO narrative. It's the UFO narrative because a couple balloons got shot down. Everybody's expecting the Greys to show up now. Crawl out of the freaking cracked ice that they crashed into in Alaska and put their finger out. Phone home. Phone home. Oh, man. Okay. So we've got, let's see if that, nothing new under the sun, right? That's right, baby. All right, man. I'm going to leave all you guys alone. I know a lot of you are like, your feels are getting hurt because the captain's busting on your conspiracy stuff. Look, it's okay. When the show's over, you guys can go back into your feeds on your devices, and it'll feed you all back in that bullshit, and you'll be completely full again. And everything that I said will slip right out of your ears, and you won't even go, that crazy captain, he doesn't know what he's talking about. World is ending in 14 days. Money system's dead in 14 days. Everything crashes in 10 days. Yeah. Okay. Probably just a Pokemon balloon that Toby let loose. And it's dropping cherry zards on top of people, right? Is that what it's doing? Dropping cherry zards. Oh, I'm gonna have some fun tonight. I'm in one of those moods. All right, and this is the perfect person to get me started. Everybody, one of our favorite streamers, our favorite Discourse Syndicate punching bag, UFO 42. You're muted. Unmute yourself first before you talk.
Yeah, I wasn't even gonna talk. Because you said it all, right? I was the balloon. I shot the balloon down.
I'm the balloon. We're all the balloon. We are all the balloon.
Yeah, we're all the balloon, yeah, and all the Pokemon. And come on, I cannot see the chat. Something is wrong. I just have to adjust, but it'll work. But I think you can see me. I think I'm like pretty sharp.
You're good.
Which I am.
You're looking good. Got your sport coat on, and yeah.
Sport? Is it sporty? Is this? It's like I was like, it's like a real suit, actually.
There you go. I swear I'll never wear one of those again.
Yeah, but that had a different reason. But well, sure. It just it's comfortable, and I don't change for just coming on to channels, right? It's like, yeah. If I do that, my God, what would I wear? I have no idea.
Some of those hippie pants. Some hippie pants.
Yeah,
we got another
hippie stuff. Let me see. Yeah,
we got another Hexican in here. I'm going to bring him up. Max, what's happening? You there? You got You're gonna be naked. Hold on, Max. I'm gonna pull you down. Let me see you. Let me see your face real quick. And I won't put you on stream if you don't want to go on stream. Just let me see you real quick. You got? Can you turn it on? Can you turn your camera on? I just don't want nakedness or, it's just, all right. I'm going to put you up. All right, dude? I'm going to bring you up. All right, Max, you there?
Yeah. Just a minute.
Oh boy. Here we go. I got my finger on the button.
Well, actually, it's like Carnival started today officially, like in most of Europe, Germany, where I am not, but I'm from Germany. It's like the second day even. So this weekend is like from Thursday to Tuesday night, basically. It's a long weekend, but I still made it.
There we go. Hey, thanks, Max.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, I saw you with Johnny Chaos. So that was I was actually aware of you for a few years, but I didn't know. And I was on, what's his name's? Who's the guy in Texas?
Rags? You talking about Rags, or are you talking about Heartbeat?
The other one.
Heartbeat?
Really
Crypto
religious?
Heartbeat?
Yeah, that's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was on his StreamYard a few times in the past few years. So
okay. Very good. Very good. Yeah, both friends of ours. Yep. Like both of those guys. They're out there doing work in the community, making things happen, streaming, bringing awareness. Love those guys. So what's going on with you other than you saw us once?
Could you be more specific?
I'm asking you to be more specific.
Tell me the story of your life. Oh shit, where should I start?
Well, just let us. This is your first time on the stream, obviously.
Yes.
This is the FN Hangout. This is where Hexicans come to. Usually, like, they introduce themselves when they first come on to the community. It's like this is like the coming out place. Like, yeah, I'm a Hexican. My name is Max. I've been a Hexican for 3 years. That kind of thing.
Okay. I guess I should talk about my crypto journey first. I think that'd be.
Yeah, let's hear it. Let's hear it.
I heard about Bitcoin back in 2010, and I thought the governments would ban it, so I didn't look into it further. And then I actually got into it in 2013, and I doubled my money, and then I pulled out. And then I put it all in some shit token, and then I lost it all. That was fun.
First move, smart move. Well, hindsight, everybody goes, oh, you're wrecked, bro. No, you doubled your damn money in something. You don't see that often.
Yeah, but then I lost it all. So it was a good experience. It was really good. And then I doubled it again a few other times.
There you go.
In some other tokens. And I heard about Richard back in 2016. And he wasn't talking about crypto at that time. I'm like, this guy is actually saying some pretty smart things. And then my health deteriorated. And so I put all my money into trying to figure out my health problems. And in the past year or so, I've been putting my extra income that I'm not putting towards my health into Hex. So it's good. And I sacrificed for PulseX. But I didn't know about Pulse Chain at the time. So
that'll be out soon. You can get some.
Well, you have one dust, right? So everyone that sacrificed for PulseX gets one pulse.
Oh,
right.
Is that the faucet? The faucet's gonna drip that out to everyone, or what?
No, it's like
I've never heard of it.
Actually, I don't think it's everyone that sacrificed for. I don't remember actually. It's best just to look it up on the sacrifice.
It's on the SAC site.
Yeah, yeah. So
okay, I haven't read that.
So yeah, but I did check that. I have sacrificed for PulseX. I didn't sacrifice for Pulse, but I do see I have one Pulse that I'll get. So that'll be interesting. What about everyone else?
So, well, you said you've seen us around for the last few years, so that's basically same story. Got in when you did and looked at it a different way. I had a different way of blowing it off, which was I thought it was a glorified PayPal situation, and I was already being shilled in-game cryptocurrencies for my gaming platform that I had at the time. So I kind of knew what they were about a little bit and didn't think very highly of them. Like, okay, way to create some cool phony money and some monopoly stuff, but digital. Great, good work. It'll work fine in the video game world probably eventually. But little did we know, right? And then in 14, I too entered about a year after you, I entered the space for real and was like, oh crap, I had a wallet and everything. And there was Bitcoin and there wasn't anything else. And started playing with it and then realized that, holy crap, this stuff goes up fast when it goes up. There's something here. And of course I ran across Richard in about 2016, somewhere around there, 17, 16, saw his top hat videos and thought he was kind of kooky but I liked something about the guy. I kept watching him because had something real. There was something real about the dude. I was just like, he's spitting truth. He's spitting facts. He seems real sincere, and after he called the top of the 20K Christmas, I hated him. I fucking hated that guy, right? When I saw his video, that's it. It's over. It's top. Done. 3 years bear market. See you guys. Bye. I'm out of here. And I was like, the fuck is this guy saying some shit like that to me? You don't know, dude. Top hat bro. Get your ass out of here. This thing's got to pump some more. I'm not done yet. Right. And, of course it was over when he called it. And, man, I was pretty bitter. And about a day or two of being bitter, I was like, why are you mad at the top hat guy? Top hat guy just told you the truth. That's all he did. And then like, I just heard a whatever. Head popped out of my ass and I was like, I got to go watch that dude. And that's when I started really like kind of diving into Richard Hart's content. And then he said he was going to make it his own crypto. I was like, wow, man. I'm going to watch this dude. And then he came out with the fluid dynamic thing. And I was just like, it was like, way over my head kind of stuff. And, I was like, all right, well, I'll probably get some of his shitcoin too, and see how it works out. And then it morphed, and I was like coming back and hearing it morph into Hex, Bitcoin Hex, right? It was Bitcoin Hex. And at that point, I was like, man, this guy's really putting something together here now. And if it does what he says it's going to do, this is going to be insane. Of course, we didn't understand the mechanisms and how it all worked, but son of a bitch, he did it. He really did it. He really made the crypto to rule them all.
It's good we're early. And, it's funny. I was in 2013. The only place to get Bitcoin was on Mt. Gox. And, they're like, oh yeah, we can't give you your Bitcoin yet. I'm like, I'm telling my, I was a teacher at the time. I was told my other teachers, I was in China at the time. And they're like, you should probably get your money out. I'm like, maybe. Okay, fine. And then they're like, it will cost you $100 to get your money out early. I'm like, oh, damn it. All right, I guess I'll pay the $100. And then I found out like a month later that, or whatever it was, I don't remember. It was something ridiculous. I found out a month later, yeah, people can't get their Bitcoin out. And I told the other teachers about it, and the guy who told me that I should get my money out was like, told you. I'm like, yep, damn straight. And then we invested in Litecoin, and it went up like double or something. And then he got his money out.
Did you get out when he got out? Did you?
No, he got out earlier, and then I invested in Quark. Like I heard Max Kaiser talk about Quark. I'm like, oh yeah, it's got.
God, you said Max Kaiser on it.
No, I did, like Max Kaiser. And he's like, oh yeah, Quark, you know, because it's got like 6 different SHA functions or whatever. I'm like, oh yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
I
Then it
remember
went.
that.
My $10,000 went. So I invested $3,000, I think. Or, I don't remember, $3,000 into Bitcoin. It went up double. Then it went up triple to 10,000 or so, and then it went down to 200 when I put it all on Quark.
Wrecking number 2. But here's the thing: if you stick around crypto long enough, eventually you make it. As long as you don't completely pull out, you end up making it. It's only those who completely sell, who lose.
Yeah. What about that Squid Game coin?
The squid, or are you talking about the shrimp? Not the shrimp.
No. There was
the
like some
shrimp?
TV show that, like a Korean show, and they ended up like there was some game. It was anyways. If you look up Squid Game, you'll see it. And they ended up some guy like made the Squid Game coin, and then what ended up happening was there was some guy on live stream who's like watching the price. It went up a little bit and then it went down to like negative something.
Oh yeah, right there. And he's I remember.
Yeah, that was like the Squid Game coin thing.
That was the Squid Game coin.
So
thing.
you know, obviously buy Squid Game coin now because it's there's no place to go up from negative, right?
It can only go up, right?
Yeah, well, there's like only on Ethereum more than 500,000 coins. So you have you know, basically you know, you can choose whatever you want. 15,000 are listed on most of the ranking sites, and yeah, well, and then very likely you're gonna just pick the right one. No.
Yeah, probably.
We picked the right one.
Yeah, I mean, Hex was really the only thing I ever went all in on too. I was always diversified. I was always in different cryptos, different ICOs, different things I was doing. My big success story was oh shit, what was the name of that damn coin? It was the porn coin. Remember that one? Why am I forgetting the name? Man.
I think I've heard of it.
Yeah. Oh, you'll remember it once you hear it. Verge. It was Verge.
I'm sure there were a bunch of them.
Yeah. Verge was the one that, I don't know, it was going to be a porn coin or something like that. And there were some other things that it was going to be. And then I got in pretty good on it. And when it was at the bottom, and damn thing went up to 21, 22, 23 cents. Like, holy mackerel. Look at that.
So how much did you put into it? Like, at what price did you get in? And what price
I don't ever talk about that, but yeah, it was early. Yeah, I don't want people trying to figure out my bags.
Yeah, I was like in the early days thinking about good names for coins. And then I came up with Lifecoin. And then I thought, oh, it already exists. And then it was like on 5 exchanges or something. But some exchanges didn't get it. And there were 8 zeros on the one exchange and 7 on the other. So you could arbitrage 10x. And that worked for like 2 days. And yeah, but that's the old days, right?
Yeah. So, but now we don't have to worry about that stupid stuff anymore, chasing those things around. It's been really nice to be able to set up stakes and you know, no pun intended, to set up, you know, stakes and instead of pulling them up and just sit back and watch it. I mean, no matter where the price is, every day I'm looking at my T-share payouts. Those are what's exciting. What do we get? 6.37 today per T-share. Woo-wee, baby.
I don't know. It was 7.4 or something.
Yeah. A couple of days ago.
Day ago. Yeah. And yeah, some people are really thinking about stuff. And actually, if there might be use case to emergency end stake that could, if you like believe in the future as it could be, then you could emergency end stake and come out better than you are. So if you have really early stakes and they come out like in a year or two, and you think a pulse is going to start like in a month or 5, and on the other side of the chain, which then will be Hex on Pulse, the rate, the T-share rate, is gonna pump as crazy insane. Then you might even be better off end staking. But this is just math and theory, and you have to believe in stuff that's going to happen. So maybe people do stuff, and so no problem. We get more a payout per day. So let him do.
Yeah. Payouts every single day. Don't have to even look at the price.
Did anybody read Richard's 2 books?
His sci-fi book, and then what's
the
his other
Fixing
book
the
called?
World book.
Yes.
Only the sci-fi.
Yeah, I've gone through a lot of sci-fi. When he first like was throwing the manuscript out there for people to read when it wasn't edited yet, I got it and started reading it. I got a pretty good way through it, and I just had to put it down. It's really hard reading, but now it's much better now.
You mean because of the formatting?
Yeah, the way it was formatted. The first format he had it in. It was just kind of like
but
him,
it was also
he was just like interpreting into it was all like just his words that he was speaking going out on the paper, you know. Obviously he was having it dictated, audio dictated.
But I think there is a sec like sorry, I think there is a kind of second edited edition.
Oh yeah,
is, and this is a lot easier to read because
that's what I was talking about. Was the first edition.
Yeah. Okay. So it's not formatting. It's really like some kind of an editor.
Yeah, I needed somebody to edit and put the words down properly. You know, take the concepts and put the words down properly. Yeah. No. Yeah. We've you know, it's all time tested stuff there. Yeah. Richard was putting some good stuff together. Years and years of self-help books he has read for sure.
I remember reading, what do you call it? Who's the guy that has the really huge teeth and always is smiling, like the great...
Oh, Tony
Awaken.
Robbins.
Yeah, that's it. The Great Awaken author. I think I read that in 2016. That was interesting. And I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad by Kiyosaki. Those were interesting concepts as well. So maybe one day I'll actually be able to use them.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of you know, time tested old books out there. I've taken a picture of. I call it a success library, you know, because a lot of these things they don't teach in school. You know, they don't teach you about finances. And
that's the point.
Yeah, and they want to keep us pretty dumb, and they want to keep all the good tricks to themselves.
Well, it doesn't have to be necessarily a conspiracy.
I don't.
It's more that the people that like if you, let's say, you wouldn't want to take lessons from teachers today because you have a lot more experience.
Because their finances are probably just as jacked up or worse than yours.
But it's not just that. It's that they have enormous power, which they didn't earn. And more importantly, they're not really...
You're talking about teachers.
Yeah, teachers. They're not really smart people in general. And they have licensure to kind of help them edge out a place in the market. And of course, unions and all this other stuff. So they they're not really the kinds of people who are even necessarily hard workers. And yet parents send their kids there and say, listen to your teacher. And that is actually more of a reflection on the parents than it is on the teachers. It's actually pretty easy to teach.
But that's
kids.
kind of a generalization, though. I mean, I know good teachers.
Yeah.
There's good
like
teachers.
you have the choice in the US. Like you have homeschooling somewhere. I don't know, everywhere. But I will agree and disagree. So yeah, I mean, these people have a lot of influence on people, on the kids, and they are not all stupid, but like, how would they know? Because they have, like, as at least most of Europe, and I don't know how it is in the US, they have like their plans that have been done by some politicians and some administration people, what to teach, and how could they know what to teach better, and what is the test, and then you got to take your exams in the end, which will be at some levels the same exams for the whole, I don't know, not only school, but in some countries for the whole country. And so they just have to teach what they have to teach. And how could they know better? But actually, many of the parents also don't know better. So,
right. It's a problem more with the parents than it is the teachers. And of course, the parents were typically taught in the same schools, by similar teachers. So
okay, so what's supposed to be the solution to this?
Well,
just spread the word. Yeah, spread the better words, and try to convince more people to concentrate and do smarter stuff. Like take the good part out of these self-help books and spread it to everyone. So parents will be able to teach their children, and the teachers will also be able to teach that stuff, and not only the way that used to be. Like it's taking a long time to change these systems, right? There's different kinds of the approach of how to teach math, for example, or to learn a language, and and some people can do it better. And
in schools, the teachers have to basically teach to a mean or to like a Common Core standard, at least in the US. They're not really teaching to the excellent students. And the thing is that, as I was saying before, it's actually the parents that are really the problem. So, for example, you see at these school board meetings that people are upset about critical race theory being taught to their kids, or Antifa stuff being taught to their kids, or these sorts of things.
Antifa stuff?
Yeah, there was some teacher in California that was getting his students to go to Antifa rallies, and he would give them like extra credit or something for that. And I think he ended up getting fired.
Which is pretty hard, because this is like political influence.
Yeah, what you're doing right now, though, is you're talking about one side of the political arena, is what you're doing.
Right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
And that's where I have to see, because there is no. Here's the problem I have with social media and all this conspiracy theory stuff. Hold on a second.
I'll be back in 2.
Okay, is that there's always like 3 or 4 guys talking about one side of things, and there's no discourse. So guess what? The people get that stuff stuck in their head, and that's their new worldview. Is 3 guys talking shit that don't know the other side or hasn't done enough research on the other side. They're passing conspiracy bullshit, and people don't know that it was, because there was nobody to sit there and have discourse with it. And that's what I'm talking about. Is that when we start looking at one side of an argument and we don't look at all sides of the argument, like I'm the public school system. I am part of the public school system. I know people that work in the public school system that are good. I know bad teachers. I've dealt with bad teachers. I have 3 kids, went through the public school system, but there were some damn good teachers that did some really good work. And I want to make sure that we don't demonize people like that, people that have done good work, people in colleges that are doing good work, and just say, well, all college educators are Antifa loving freaking commies.
Oh, I didn't say that.
But that's the narrative that gets spun from the things that you just said.
All right, but I specifically said that one teacher in California did X.
But you start talking about the education system in that dynamic. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is that people start running around all of college. Everybody who goes to college is indoctrinated in a bunch of hippies. And it's like, that is not true. That is not true. And that's the narrative I start hearing out there. And that's not the case. We have excellent schools in this country that teach people good things, that bring people to the table in technology, in thermodynamics, in mathematics, I mean, all of this stuff. It's if we don't get it out of the schools, we're damn sure not going to get it out of homeschooling everybody. I can't teach my kids what the public school can teach them. I can't. I know it's not my skill set to do so. Right. So the public school system is educating my children, and shit, they're a lot smarter than I ever was. So I just want to make sure that we're not talking about one side of an argument.
So I went to Cornell. I studied chemical engineering, and in chemical engineering, we obviously learned math, but we also learned thermodynamics and quantum mechanics and a bunch of other stuff. Mm-hmm. And at the end of it, and I also did my master's of engineering in one semester instead of 2 semesters. And at the end of it, I was like, this was a waste of my fucking time. And
that's what my son says. He hates his college because he's like, I just wasted my time. I could learn more on YouTube than I can in a whole semester at school. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff he's been telling me. And I'm like, I understand education is losing pace with the world's information. Like the internet already has more information basically than most of the educators out there.
So, and the other thing is that I was a teacher in China for about 2 years, actually exactly 2 years. And then I mostly taught myself coding. I did go to a dev boot camp as well, and that helped. But I mostly taught myself. And I think I could have done a better job teaching myself if I had certain books. And given that I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own and use that knowledge for other things, it seems like it's more of a matter of motivation than it is intelligence. And so you have all these scenarios where parents aren't really doing that good of a job of parenting. And it shows up in many different ways, not just in the education system. Right. So here's something that I thought of that I thought was like, I can't believe I didn't think of this earlier. So you know how parents sometimes shit talk other parents?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you say, my God, that parent's kids are terrible because the parent's terrible. And yet you're sending your kids to the same school as that kid. It's like, basically you're getting a semi-unfiltered version with some of the bad parts of the parents that the kid is exposed to, being unleashed on other kids.
Yeah.
So I think if parents did a better job of parenting and actually were willing to say, my parents could have done better in this. If they were excellent, then that's one thing. But a lot of the parents are not saying, it's wrong that my parents did this. They did something they shouldn't have, or they didn't do something they should have, right? And then it shows up in the kids. And the kids come out fucked up in so many ways. So
yeah, but then you come up with this thing. Yeah, it is a little bit is about the capabilities of each and every person, and you could call it intelligence or whatever. And some people are very fast, and some people are maybe different, and you cannot.
Well, why should kids learn all the same kind of things? They forget about that shit anyways.
Yeah, and the thing
I
is,
use math every day. It doesn't mean not everyone should learn math.
But not everyone understands the same thing in the fastest amount of time with the same explanations. So I remember we had a physics teacher in 6th grade or something. And he was able to teach the whole class everything. And there were like 4 or 5 classes, like 6A, B, C, D, and E. They were not like ranked or anything. It's just so many different people at the same age with like 25 to 30 people in a class. And our class was getting so good grades in physics that the other parents went to the school board and said, this guy is just giving people arbitrarily good grades. And then they made a test between the 5 classes, and our class came out like insanely in front of all the other 4, because this guy could just tell all of the different kids in the class what the stuff was about. And so it has also to do a lot with how to educate. Then you could separate people. Yeah, the parents, if the parents, if you're like 10 times smarter than your parents, how could they know what is the best thing for you right now, and maybe get you to another school, or just yeah, or better not homeschool you.
Well,
it's
I don't know. I don't know the mechanics of soccer. Like, I don't play soccer, but I bet you I could learn pretty quickly if I wanted to. And so it doesn't necessarily mean that if they're not smart now, that they can't make good decisions related to their kids. The other thing that it not upsets me, but I noticed, is that people are not very selective. So in the things that really matter, or that things should matter. So for example, people get married and have kids, and then it's like, oh yeah, well, I guess we're going to get divorced. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah, do you really select the woman, the right woman, or the right man, or do you just fuck on the first date? And then it's like, oh yeah, I guess we're pair bonded,
Yeah. No, that's
you're pregnant, let's get
I have a
married.
good one on this. I have to because this is on some new TV series,
and of course it shows up in the kids. So
go for this.
Go ahead,
how do you how do you find a woman that has your back and is truly making you a millionaire?
I got it.
You got it. Yeah. By marrying her while you're still a billionaire.
Yeah, I'm ready to jump in on this one. So
okay, so this is a bit discriminating, but it's just a joke. It could be like other way around. Thing is, no, it is not easy, and it is also not easy to educate people or save people from themselves. So let's get back to crypto a bit, for making the same mistakes that we all maybe did in 2010 on here. This is a hard disk drive, yeah, like, and there were Bitcoin on there. And then I didn't get it in 14 with the Ethereum stuff, and but in 13 a bit with the Bitcoin, and but then it was too late to mine, so you get in, but you get out, and then you understand, and then you wait for the next best thing, and this is what like the captain
it's human nature
talking about. Yeah, no, but no, it's not like
new.
Yeah, but you were just telling basically my story, because then I found this guy who really had a good idea and was very smart, and was just waiting for this thing to come up, and it came up. And I FOMO in on day one too much, but that is another story. So the thing is, people understand things differently, and if you want to teach, probably it's a good skill to teach things in different ways. for so that everyone can like kind of get it. And you have to in crypto, at least, I would say, save people from wrecking themselves, because this is like a hell out there, and so much scam out there. And this is basically the same thing in life.
All right, bud. I'm going to try and get back on to the subject here so that we can, I want to have this conversation. Okay. So you've all heard me say there's nothing new under the sun. I'm going to fix everybody's relationship problems right now. I'm going to fix it for you. This whole picking thing. You don't get to pick. You don't. I'm sorry. You just don't. Because they're lying to you. Everybody's lying when you meet them. Period. End of story. From the makeup to the voice that the men use, the clothes we wear, the whole thing, we're lying, because it's not us really all day long, every day. The attitude you get on that first date is not the attitude you're going to get on a freaking Wednesday when dude's pissed off, tired, hungry. You know, first of all, no expectation of profit from the work of others is how you should look at all your damn relationships right now, because you don't get to pick a better person. It's what the two of you make out of it that makes the relationship. Period. End of story. Because it is hard. It is the hardest thing that you will ever do in your life, is stay with somebody for over 20 years. Try it.
Yeah.
I dare any of you. I'm coming up on number 22 in a couple of days. And I'll tell you what, it has absolutely nothing to do about how bitching and cool she is, or how good she is at this, or good she is at that. It's, did I stick in there long enough when I didn't want to make it continue to keep working for me and my family?
Commitment, just commitment.
It's
love
about
is
commitment.
something.
It's about being there for that person when you don't like what they're doing, or you don't like who they are, or you don't like what they hid from you, or you don't, that you're going to get it everywhere. There is no perfect person. There's no perfect time to have kids. There's no perfect person. No. There's no perfect kids. There's not going to be any perfect teachers. There's not going to be anything out there that is going to, you're not going to be able to mitigate this disaster of life that's coming to you if you go out, get married, have a family, and try and raise them in this world. There is nothing you can do to mitigate it. You can't. You can't change the world. You can't change your children. You cannot stop anything that is about to be shoveled into your face when you try and start to have a family, and you try and stick to it, and you don't leave, and you say, no matter what, I'm committing to, I am going to honor my commitment. That day I stood in front of, all of my friends and family, and everybody said, for better, for worse, me and this gal are going to go do it. You know what I mean? So don't get hung up on that stuff. It's about commitment and no expectation of profit from the work of others. That's how you have to look at your damn relationship.
There's a philosopher, I forgot his name. It's a French philosopher. And he said, love is something that you don't have and give to somebody who doesn't want it. This is pretty smart. And basically, love is something that you can only give and not expect or anything. So what you just said, no expectations from the work of others, is also no expectations of being loved. But what you can do by yourself is just love. And this is something that you can give. And it's sometimes hard if you have the impression you don't get it back. But this is, basically you explain it in the same words, but I totally agree.
But it's what I'm trying to speak to is a philosophy of life, which is all of these things, you don't have to try and make them all perfect. Everything, for instance, school. I like my kids being in school, whether they're being taught insanely educational stuff or not. I know that You know, when my wife and I got married and we bought our first house, you know, we did everything out of necessity. And then as we started to move on and have children, we said, we want to go live where there's better schools. So we sold our house and bought where the good schools were, where people were teaching the kids better than all of the rest of the people were teaching them. I'm not going to give the education system all these props like it isn't flawed. It's flawed. I know it. I've seen it. I've dealt with it. I'm a parent. I've had to go into the school and, you know, the whole, I get it. But what I'm saying is these children going there and getting involved with other children who may have fucked up parents, or they're fucked up kids, or they're narcissists, or they're this, or they're that. I want my kids in that fucking war. I want them hooking and jabbing. I want them coming to me and asking me questions about this kid and that kid's parents and that stuff that's going on. And this, I want them to see the real world so that they know what they're in for, so that they know who they're going to be dealing with, so they know what their spouse is going to look like, act like, or come from. I don't want to shelter my kids away from the public. I don't want to shelter them away from not being out there in the trenches with the rest of the world. Now, me as a parent, I'm going to fucking dissect and download and upload and reload everything I can for my kids. Everything that I can give them advice on, everything that I can talk to them about, the things that they've seen, the horrors that they experience, all that heartaches and all that stuff. I want to be there to talk to them about it, because my parents weren't. They just kind of, it was, hey, you know, you live in a ghetto, and go out there and just live. Make sure you survive, because it's not good out there, guy. And that was basically my upbringing. So I just went through the public school systems and you know, negotiated my way out of high school and into the Marine Corps. That's how I figured out how to work the system there. And, you know, and to be honest, I barely learned how to read. I barely learned how to write. I barely learned how to do math. And I got out of there and went into the Marine Corps. That was the education that I got from the public school system. So yeah, I'm not giving it all the props that, you know, that maybe people think I am, but I just think that human experience, and we're all going to have a different one. We're all going to have a different human experience. Just has to be experienced. You've got to get out there and utilize what's out there today, and do what you can to change things. Of course, always doing what you can to change things. Hold on, we got another guest coming up. Go ahead, Max, if you wanted to respond to that, because Max hasn't responded to any of the AD.
Yeah. So there was a philosopher. He's still alive, Stefan Molyneux. Richard mentioned him maybe like a month ago or so. So he has a bunch of books on philosophy, non-aggression principle, all these other things. And I think he heard about Hex. He doesn't really know much about it because someone mentioned it to him on live stream, and the guy couldn't even explain what it was. It's funny. Hey, what do you think about Hex? I don't know. First I heard about it. What can you tell me? I don't know that much about it. I want to ask you. Anyways, so yeah, he writes about, he says that love is our involuntary response to virtue. And so he talks about a lot of these selection ideas that you need to have standards in your life. And he says in his marriage, he's been married, I think, at least 20 years, that not a day goes by where his marriage is better. And people were like, you have to really work at the marriage. He's like, no, you don't have to do that. You have to select a really great person. And then it's really easy. And it's actually really relatively easy to raise kids. And he said it's actually came out better than he thought it would. And I think I know he suffered greatly. He talks about the physical abuse that he was subjected to by his mother and the neglect he was subjected to by his father. And when you hear him talk, I mean, I would say, smarter in certain ways than Richard, and Richard is smarter in certain business ways than Stefan, but both were businessmen. So I think both are quite interesting to listen to. That's it.
Thanks for the advice. I'll look into it.
And I agree with the choose wisely. I did everything I could to choose wisely. I waited a little while before I got married, and and I did everything I could to choose wisely, but nothing prepares you for, that many years with another human being. And, there's just things that we don't expose to one another that get exposed over the years. And
why not?
And it's part of life, and it also builds your character too. Dealing with those things and understanding what those things might be, or being there for somebody when you don't want to be there for somebody, and vice versa, and
maybe that's
not having somebody there when you need them and they're right next to you, all that stuff. I mean, nothing prepares you for those kinds of moments and those kinds of things, and it's just, what are you going to do with it when it happens?
And it's impossible. You cannot compress the experience of a whole future lifetime into a 1 hour session, and then you're all set for the rest of your life. How could that go?
I'm not making that argument, am I?
No, I know you didn't, but I was just saying what the cat was saying. You just have to also keep learning and doing while you're doing, and keep staying at it and being at it, and
it's awfully general, though.
Not defecting and not
and every situation is
not
different.
leaving. Just go on and go on, and it'll be okay.
That's right. Those people getting divorced, they had no reason to get divorced. Right?
Gosh, see, and then everybody's situation is different, and
then why say that people shouldn't leave, that they should stay?
I didn't say that.
That was my philosophy.
Saying.
That's what my philosophy for my happy marriage is that
okay.
I'm committed to it, and I've stuck with it no matter what. That doesn't mean that it's easy, or it was the easiest, but you know what? It's the best. It really is. I mean, having children and having the situation that her and I have had all these years has been, it's been the best. I couldn't have asked for more. Again, not easy. Simple thing to do. Be with somebody, and not always easy. Not always easy.
Oh damn, he dropped.
Oh, we lost Raj.
Were we boring him? I guess since he didn't get
his internet, he'll pop back.
Okay. I put his website and his name into the private chat.
Daraj? Oh, your guy, Free Domain. What's that? No, Stefan Molay. Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Then there was this other thing I was wanting to tell, which was,
let's see if we can get Daraj back.
The thing that you don't get taught at school, and this was a very hard thing for me to. There was this.
Hold that thought real quick, UFO.
Yeah. Hey,
I want to bring Daraj up while he's still got some internet.
Yeah.
You there? Unmute yourself. You're all froze up. What do you got? What do you got going on over there? Tell the guys who are holding the antenna up on your roof to just put it up a little higher. Put some foil on it or something.
Huh.
Daraj, unmute yourself.
Yeah, I think it's muted.
Unmute yourself.
I think he's frozen.
He moved a minute ago. Yeah, he's lagging. He's lagging out pretty hard.
He's Bernie. What do you call it? Bernie at.
Maybe he's not even hearing us, because otherwise he would post something into the
Weekend at Bernie's. That's it.
Weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah. Oh, as an aside, you remember how Richard was talking about the MEGG something or other school, and he learned Scheme and Lisp and all sort of stuff. That teacher that he was referring to was probably talking about this book. SICP. So that's actually a really good book. So it's just one of those books where, this actually comes back to the education idea that the teachers aren't really good at selecting good books, partly because they haven't learned much to begin with. And so it takes a huge amount of trial and error to actually figure out to get the right skills, to find the right resources. But it actually doesn't take that much time. Ironically, it just takes a lot of desire, and a lot of people don't really have a lot of desire. That's part of the issue.
No.
And so if you don't have a lot of desire, you don't have a lot of standards.
And that's
yeah,
where
and
you
have
see
to
the
go
good
against the
teachers.
others even.
The good teachers are the ones that commit, that you can tell it's in their DNA to teach. They want to teach, so they're out there doing what they can to make the experience better for their students.
I didn't want to teach, and I was like the best teacher that these kids had. It was kind of ironic.
So what was it that what was it that did that though? What was it?
Did what?
Were you just good at your material? What made you?
I mean, I knew it.
You didn't want to, but what made you a good teacher? I mean, what made you?
So one thing that I did was that students actually, I'm not exactly sure why, but well, maybe this I can explain in a minute. Diraj, do you want to?
Diraj.
Say something?
Nope, don't mute yourself. Back the way you were. You were good before. Okay.
Anyways, so when I started teaching, I was like, why should the students actually learn calculus? They've been programmed, they need to learn whatever. So they're going to learn. I'm like, I kind of want to give them some motivation. This was back in 2013. The Model S just came out like a year ago. We can't hear you. Can you hear us?
No, but his mic is muted. Definitely.
Yeah, but
it is showing being muted. So
yeah, but I'm telling him we can't.
It's you, Diraj. You have to unmute.
you have to click.
You have to unmute yourself, Diraj.
Can he put something in the chat? I mean, we all have access to the chat, the private chat.
Yeah, that's why I thought maybe he can neither hear us nor really. I don't know what's happening.
So anyways, I showed them videos of SpaceX rockets and what do you call it, Teslas, and some what do you call it, molecular dynamics simulations of, I think it was the HIV protease or capsid. That's what it was. I'm like, in order to actually do this stuff, you guys need to know calculus, right? It's the rate of, it's how things change, and you guys need to know it in order to actually do this cool stuff. I'm like, okay, they were kind of motivated, but I ended up figuring out there were a bunch of factors in their lives that were completely fucking them up, especially their parents. And I think the students sensed that I was actually quite genuine in my thoughts, not just on calculus, but on life. And they, some of them actually came to me and told me about their problems. I'm like, oh, okay. Tell me more. So I listened, and they're like, oh yeah, I'm behind on my homework. I'm like, yeah, you're better off missing a day of homework so that you get the rest of your life in order. And, one girl wanted to go into law school, but her parents, pre-law. And her parents, this was a rich school. I forgot to mention that part. This was not, this is what's called the Guojibu, which is international department. And I actually met some of the regular kids, and they were much smarter than these rich kids, much smarter. And one of them actually spoke perfect English. It was weird. He'd never been outside the country, and yet he spoke perfect English. What the hell? Anyways, I gave him some interesting advice about he wants to be a doctor. I'm like, why you want to be a doctor? Anyways, all this stuff where I ask questions and I listen, and why do you think that? They started talking to each other, and people started coming to me for advice. I should say high school students. This was high school. And yeah, that was interesting. So they kind of paid attention to my class. And the other thing is that a bunch of them failed, but they still got A's and B's. I'm like, what the fuck? How'd they pass? And this is my first year in China. And I hear from the other teachers who've been there for a while, yeah, the administrators get a red envelope. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about, red envelope? They bribe them. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes more sense now. Yeah. And I was outraged, but I'm like, well, I'm still getting paid. And, I taught the kids. And, oh yeah, here's another funny thing. Here's a case of incentives. So the students are passing their homeworks, but failing their tests. And my boss is giving me a hard time about it. And he's like, you got to teach them better. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? They're cheating off each other. Their handwriting looks the same. What the fuck are you talking about? They copied the handwriting. That's how, good at copying they are. And he's like, well, you got to watch them do their homework. I'm like, they're just going to cheat when I'm not watching. He's like, well, they got to get better scores. And I'm like, well, what the fuck do you want me to do about that? They're fucking cheaters. So, and he ended up dropping it because he knew it was true. But I'm like, this is, they're rich. They're born into privilege. So, and a few of them were actually pretty smart. And I was like, you should consider going into engineering because, instead of business, because you can actually do something useful, like crazy good with your life. You're actually one of the smartest students. You were smarter than me when I was your age. So,
my pro school argument is really not about what it does for that human as far as the curriculum that they're receiving from the Ola Escuela. It's the networking opportunity. So here, I'm going to explain this to you and maybe you'll understand.
Maybe.
So you're a college educated class person. You are. You didn't see much value in it. But I wasn't. I was a guy that barely negotiated his way out of high school, joined the Marine Corps, learned how to run around with a pack on my back and kill people. They took me out of the streets and that's what I ended up in. Versus paying attention in school, having parents and teachers that, got me involved and sent me through the system, meaning into higher education. College, people who have gone to college, I have to say they're a different class of person. They are. Now, I'm not saying that you can't elevate yourself if you're not an educated person like I wasn't. You can't elevate yourself to that also. But there's an experience that a college educated person gets with higher education, with different types of responsibility, with a different type of respect that's paid to them, with a different type of credential, with a different type of network that exists around them. It's a different situation than somebody who comes from the streets and goes into a trade or something. Completely different experience, completely different networking experience, completely different class of people that they get to interact with early on in life. Versus some of us, it took us a long time to break into that, to get the knowledge, to scrape it out of the ether and pull it in and understand, And so I see it. I see a difference. I know I've worked around a lot of college educated people. I've worked around a lot of people that weren't college educated. And there's a different mentality. There's a different networking experience that they've had. There's a different group of people that they've surrounded themselves around. If you look at these self-help books, one of the concepts that's talked about, and I forget who exactly said this. It'll hit me. It was Carnegie or one of them anyway. Said, you are in your income level and your class will equal the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time around. Your network.
I think it was average, and maybe you're talking about Dale Carnegie.
Dale Carnegie. I'm sorry. Yeah, Dale Carnegie said, something to that effect, and I understood that. I got it because I knew early on in my life in the streets, growing up in Inglewood and in gangs and whatnot. I learned that I needed to spend time with the people I knew that could protect me or that I can get things from the neighborhood from. And I spent my time around those folks. So I kind of learned that concept early on. And as I got out of that and as I moved into other areas, I was like, okay, I wanted to know the guy that knew the most about this job I was doing, or the guy that knew the most about this hobby I was in, or the person that was the best at this or the strongest at that. And I spent a lot of time around those people trying to network myself into it. And that's something that people in college, and I'm not saying that it's everybody's experience, but for the most part, they get to experience that at a different level, because those people who have gone on into college, for the most part, not all, come from parents that understood, that pushed them through that, or a network that was set up for them to follow and become part of the legacy or whatever, and again, it's not everyone, but a good majority. And then when you come out of that school and you have the credentials, you start entering into a different class of person. And everybody says, oh, a diploma doesn't do anything for, or a degree doesn't do anything for you, blah, 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 blah. Au contraire. When you're on my side of the fence and you don't have a degree and you've gone in for a job interview and they've asked you if you have a degree, and you see the person that gets hired for those jobs that had the degree, and you see the people that move on are the ones that have those degrees, you see it. I've seen it. I've experienced it. Now, I don't know if that's the case today because I'm not in the workforce like that anymore. I'm not a beginner. I'm not, I reached the top echelons of my field by crawling and clawing and scraping to get where I was at. But I'm saying that experience from college educated people may not even understand that privilege that they earned. And they may not even understand what other people have to deal with that aren't college educated. For instance, my vocabulary, like I talk to people who've been on to college and they've just got a better vocabulary, and they've just got they've got a little extra smarts that, I've never done an essay. I've never sat in a room and studied, 2, 3, 4 nights in a row. I've never done that kind of stuff, and you guys earned that and did that and worked this muscle versus any of these or these, and it's a different, you guys are a different class of people, and I admire it. I admire it. And I think that people don't put enough value into it anymore, because it is valuable. It is being in that network, being in that class of human being that has a jump start in life. It's valuable, in my opinion.
Well, I mean, we were immigrants when we came to the U.S. I was actually from the Soviet Union, and so we grew up poor initially, but my parents worked hard, and I don't think they really instilled that in me exactly, which sounds messed up, but I just wanted to get the hell out of there. I didn't like the environment I was raised in. I didn't like my parents. So, you're right. It is hard to stick with people, but when you have no choice, like being a kid, that's really hard. And also, I ended up surviving China. It's not like there were gangs in China, but there's all sorts of other shit you've probably never been exposed to. That
sure.
that just really mess you up. So that was a fun experience. I had to learn a lot of social skills in Chinese. Fortunately, I was able to translate all those, being able to read people's body language, which I didn't need to do before going to China. And of course, learning Chinese. So.
Right on.
Yeah, but going back to what the captain just said, it's very much about life experience, and you can catch up like with almost everything, but it may be very, very hard because like in some of the states in Europe, like especially in France and England, this is so centralized. You can only like really get a top job in, let's say, influential positions if you were in one of the top private schools and stuff. So this is like this, and Germany for the like other part has been very permeable. So it was a lot easier for people whose parents have never done anything but shovel coal or so to get a college degree suddenly. But this has also been shifted within the last 20 years again, and it's also getting harder again. And I think we should give every little newborn child basically the same opportunities, which is very hard if the whole system is like already for hundreds of years built to exactly not have this. So and this is why I also like the DeFi community, and especially the Hex community, because there are very diverse people in it, and people that share, for example, I think this thought of having people at least have the same opportunity to start off with. And this is a thing that is also very important to try to keep in the ecosystem, and try to promote, because otherwise it's going to happen like it's happening everywhere. It's already like this a bit. Like if you look at like 14 whales, then the super sharks, then 981 dolphins, 4,000 whatever, how many squids, and then you go on and go on. And but the and the OA was 90%, but the OA is something different. So let's take the other ones, but but everyone has the chance to participate, and basically with a little bit of bigger pays better, first comes better or something, people have the same opportunity to choose the way for the later gratification, to learn from the others. And this is why I like this community so much. And that stuff that's been going on out there for hundreds and maybe thousands of years. You want to live like in a kingdom and be a peasant? No.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if it happens, because Richard was saying in the documentary that these people are seeming like crazy now, but maybe in 20 years from now they'll own 50% of everything. So that'll be interesting,
right?
Nice.
Well, he said this, but this is not saying that they will act as the now owning 50% of people of everything. So they might have the DeFi and Hex experience and just act differently in society, but are aware of what they own and take responsibility for their actions, and create a different society, which is what probably many people want. This is not connected. Yeah. Of course, the people who were first in Hex and own a lot of bags, he calls them the Loombirds in that part. They will own 50% of everything, yes, but he doesn't say that they're going to be as much as an asshole as the people who own all of the stuff today.
I never said he did. And I don't think he was meaning that either.
So Matt, let me say something about your experience too. So you being the son of immigrants, that puts you in a different category too, because your parents came here with a different attitude than people who've been here. They came here with, I mean, to pick up your family and move from somewhere that you absolutely had to leave or didn't want to be in to make your life better. That's something that, like, people here, that's not even like something that, well, maybe nowadays that's something that they can imagine or dream of or want or desire. But the fact that your parents did that, it puts, they're a special type of people. to take their family and try and make it better by going to a whole nother country, and then doing it and surviving and raising a family and doing all of that. I mean, that is something that most Americans could never do. Couldn't just pick up and move out to another country and survive and raise a family. and I mean, I see it here in California all the time. Everybody talks shit about California, but everybody comes here. They all come here. LA,
people are
Hollywood.
Leaving. There's an exodus of California.
That's conspiracy theory. We have more
well,
people,
it's now starting a little bit like towards
hold
Austin,
on, UFO.
but
we have more people coming in and moving into this state than we have leaving. It's
are they
not
illegal?
A big exodus.
Are they?
No,
are they Americans?
They're not immigrants. There's no such thing.
Legal or illegal?
Immigrants.
Okay.
We've always had a par immigration program here. Our immigrants from Mexico come in here mostly to work. We don't have a lot of people from Central and South America that try and come across the California border. They do that in Texas because of the distance that it takes them to travel and whatnot. So we don't see a lot of those coming across our border.
But a lot of what's that? Doesn't California have a lot of benefits? I used to live in San Francisco. I mean, we get taxed the shit out of us.
It's not to go to the immigrants, that's for sure. So that's all these misnomers. The people think that, the immigrants get all of this. No, most of them come here to work, and they work in the fields.
You mean tobacco?
No, we have fruits and vegetables, nuts, you name it. California is one of the biggest agricultural states in the country. We supply a lot of the food for the world. And these, the migrant workers, they come in, they work the season, and then they go back to Mexico. So we've always had a kind of a par. And I mean, we have a large Mexican community here, people that, have come over, but it's not as like it's ebb and flow. We have a season where a lot of them come here, and most of them are, up north in the fields and whatnot. But let me get back to where our conversation was. And that was, I was just, like I said, praising the immigrant that comes here because they have a different type of attitude, and the American that is here doesn't have that same type of either concern or worry that they're living in a place that, they may have to pull up stakes and save their family from. That seems to kind of be the narrative right now, though. I do hear Americans talking like, hey, they got to get out of this country and they got to, take their family somewhere else. I don't know where they're going to go, because I don't know, where your typical American is going to go and feel comfortable and feel, the same type of security and everything that they feel here. So that's going to be
people have a lot of wants, and it's a lot easier to bitch about problems than it is to actually solve them. And people don't want to solve the problems. They prefer bitching. So, I left the country because I had trouble getting a job, and that was ironic because I had a Cornell, master's of engineering degree. And, it's like, all right, well, guess I'm going to China. So it worked.
So you're still there?
No, I'm in New Hampshire. I left China in 2016 because of a lot of I was getting exposed to a lot of different chemicals, and I was feeling way worse, and I wasn't sure what was going on. And
but we don't like people regulating our chemicals around here too much now. Don't be digging into the corporations' pockets and making them pay for safety measures and stuff, right? Here in the US?
No, this is part of the non-aggression principle that, how would a free society deal with people who, poison other people? Well, there are plenty of ways to actually deal with it. It's just, people expect the government to solve the problem, and that's the largest.
It's not happening.
Right. Yeah. They have other incentives. Right.
Yeah.
This is the
there's lobbyists that are saying, hey, we're not gonna worry about those trains over there. We're not gonna
like in Ohio.
Let's not make a big deal out of that. Come on, it's not a big deal. A little puff of smoke, everything's cool.
We're gonna light on fire too. They'll fix everything. I know that's part of actually the plan.
Burn. Nobody will know what was there.
No, it's part of like the fire department's response. So I think that I think it was the mayor, or maybe it was the governor, was saying, look, we lit on fire, and I think he was listening. This is part of like the bureaucratic problems that are part of any state. And I don't mean like the state of Ohio. I mean any government. So you have this huge bureaucracy, and that was actually an innovation 200 years ago, but it's a real disaster now, because it set standards at the time, you know. So
The FDA,
anyways.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, yeah. Back to your point about like immigrants. It's people are going to misinterpret this, but I'm going to say it anyways. There's a huge genetic component to people's, personalities. It seems like personality of a person is set when they're basically 6 years old. Like it's much harder to change a person's personality after they're 6 years old.
And I think
part
that's
of that personality is
cultural thing, because if you take a
it's not just
non-culture
cultural.
child and put them out into another culture, they pick up the same traits.
That's true, but what I'm talking about is actually intelligence. So it seems like there's a huge genetic component to intelligence, and I think there are certain personality traits that are present in people that have a genetic component as well. It's just not really well understood. So when you say the immigrants, it's very it's different. You're a different kind of person because your parents came here and they had a different culture, and I think that's part of it. That comes into me, but it's also a genetic component that I just happen to inherit pretty good genes. I think Richard has the same idea, which he just happens, like his parents, he said, are not that particularly smart, but he is particularly smart. So he just kind of won the jackpot in that way.
The gene pool. The gene pool jackpot.
If you say it, gene pool jackpot, yeah. I wouldn't agree with the that genetic a component of intelligence that I would agree exists, but I wouldn't agree that this is very much correlated to personality and traits and how you behave. There's a lot of intelligent assholes out there. Sorry for that.
I know. I met a bunch of them.
Oh yeah. The intelligence doesn't mean you're a good person.
Yeah.
I mean, they say Hitler was intelligent, right? That doesn't mean he was a good person. So, I mean,
right. This is the orthogonality thesis. It's intelligence and morality are uncorrelated.
Yeah, I agree. 100. Yep.
Or ethics or whatever you like step you want to take. And then there's people are different, like in their spectrum. Some people are tall, some people are small, some people are Asperger more or less, some people are more ADHS than others, some people are more you mean ADHD? ADHD, sorry for that. Not a native English speaker. And some people are on this psychopaths. It's mostly bell curves, and everyone is a bit of something. But the people who are far out, sometimes it's
it really all comes down
to
one thing, my friend, and it's choice. We all have a choice to act in the way we want to act. Period. End of story. It's a choice. We all have a choice.
Well, at some point, some people don't.
How we want to act, what route we want to take, whether or not, because I know some very, very supposedly good people who talk themselves into good ideas into doing bad things. It sounds good at the time. It sounded good, but they talk themselves into bad things, and they can egg each other on, and it's you see a lot of it out on the internet, and it's all about choice, man. Everybody has a choice and how they want to act and how they want to be. They do, and just like we were talking about, immigrants that come here to this country fleeing another country have a different type of attitude, and it's not all of them. It's not all of them. There's some that are going to stay there and die. They're going to stay there and die because they don't have that thing that's going to make them get up and do that hard thing and leave the whole country. They just don't have it in them. Like, what would make, two men go into the same, two equally yoked men, let's say in an army unit, getting captured in Vietnam. And these two equally yoked, physically fit men go into this concentration camp. And they end up in there for 10 or 15 years. Well, at the 10-year mark, one of them just completely just gives up and dies, shrinks down to nothing and just dies. But the other one spends another 5 years in that place, comes out, writes self-help books, and goes and motivationally speaks to people about his experience.
There are a lot of studies.
There's two different people that the two of the same kind of people that went into that situation, but one for some reason came out of it and turned it into lemonade versus the other one turned it into lemons. Right?
Yeah, resilience. And the thing is, there's a lot of studies about it, especially if you use the term that is, a pretty harsh term or word. This is mostly people that just at that moment have the ability to explain themselves that they're in a situation that is just like this and cope with it and find a reason with it. And this is probably it's if you've in science is probably resilience. And you're laughing because I know because you're laughing.
No, we were laughing.
But
no, there was a comment.
No. But Max is laughing because probably in his family,
I was joking.
He has a lot of people who have died in horrible situations.
Not personally.
No, I said in your family, probably. I guess
not really. So we were from the Soviet Union. We during World War II. I think one of my grandparents died or something, but I never met him. And my grandmother, there was rationing in Soviet Union at that time because of the war. So she had some, I don't know, a few pieces of bread a day or something and some butter for years or something like that. I don't think it was for years, but whatever the case was.
Maybe she was very resilient and very
there's a lot of selection pressure
strong
in that case.
Yeah,
and she's still alive. That's the other fine thing. So I must have inherited her heart or parts of it, obviously. And I don't mean that spiritually. I mean literally. I've had certain health
ventricles.
problems.
You're talking ventricles.
Yeah, I mean when I was internally bleeding. All the times I was internally bleeding, it ended up my hemoglobin got really low. In this case, it was 4.6, and that's at cardiac failure territory. And I asked them, I was so fucked up from all the blood loss, and they're like, I asked them, why am I not dead? And they're like, you have a good heart. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe. They're like, if you probably came in a week later, you'd be dead. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I wouldn't be coming in then. So.
Right on. Well, let's see if we can shift over to talking about crypto.
Yes. Let's talk about the good things.
That's exactly my idea. We totally agree. I will be out for another 2 and be back for crypto.
Okay.
How many beers did you have already?
UFO? I don't.
That was the one, and it's called Danza di Diavolo, which is translated "Dance of the Devil," and it is produced only in a small brewery here on the Canary Islands, and it's pretty bitter, but dark ale kind of style.
Really, just one?
Yeah.
Huh.
Those are some strong ones. Some strong ones.
It can't be that strong. It's beer.
Yeah.
It's not like a,
It has, I don't know, 6.2 or something. It's pretty strong for a beer.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like a shot. It's not like you're putting.
No, it's not like a shot. No.
The vodka. No.
The
Vodka.
shot is, of course, in my coffee cup, and this is where all the rum is instead of coffee.
There you go.
Sure.
All right. Well, it is good to see us moving up at 5.5. Well, I'm looking at. So hey, Melv, it's close. it's closer on. I don't know if you're on Deck Screener or if you're on. It's 5.559 right now over on Staker app. Let's see what Deck Screener's got. Close.
It's 5.5535 on Nomics.
Yeah, 5.55.
I actually got a screen from the 555.
Is that the hex pen?
Yeah,
hex
it's hex
pen?
pen.
Yeah, it's got hex on it. Yeah, I got one of those in Albany.
Oh, they were when they were on the tour.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got some hex stuff. But as I said, I need a couple of minutes, like 2 maybe. So
yeah.
But I'll listen in. I just you feed me with the best new infos on crypto hex and what's been new.
Well, I mean, gosh,
I should have got in a few weeks ago.
Should have got in a few weeks.
I mean, I was in already. I should have. I have my like emergency fund, and it's like I don't spend that. That stays there.
Dry powder. Some dry powder.
Well, no. I thought dry powder referred to money you have on the sidelines ready to go in crypto, right?
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm talking about an emergency fund. I don't want to.
We call that dry powder. No, I'm just kidding.
Nah, I've had too many disasters in my life. It's like I will take not having 10,000x gains over, spending that money.
Yeah, no, you got to have your safety. That's good to hear, man. That is good to hear somebody say some reasonable shit like that.
I've been saying that shit in like the Pulse Chain chat for maybe a year ago, and people.
I've always assumed
that. It's like, and I was giving them other advice. I'm like, there are these banks in the U.S. You put some money in, and they will give you free cash back, or credit cards where you get, cash back or whatever. And that turns out it's not taxed. The stuff from the banks accounts 1099 income. And they're like, oh yeah, one guy was like, I don't want, pick up pennies. And I'm like, this is actually worth thousands of dollars in free money. Wouldn't you want, if you believe that crypto is going to go up, when you want that free cash and then to put it into crypto? Or
it's like saying, I don't want to buy the sale item because I got enough money. It's just, you know what I mean? Like,
then why are you
like
in crypto?
I haggle with everybody that I deal with. Like I'm, I don't give up my money too freely. And, I don't think anybody else should either. Should be looking for deals, always looking for deals and always looking for protection. I've, from the beginning, crypto was such a volatile asset and such a high risk asset that I was only willing to take 10% of my holding savings. Let's call it investments, 10% of my investment portfolio and put into crypto. That was it. That's all I did. And that was all I was ever allowed myself to mess with, and it's ebbed and flowed and gone almost down to zero. And then of course we are where we're at today with Hex. But I mean, I never jeopardized my family's livelihood, my job, anything like that for crypto. I just never did. And the fact that I was able to finally leave work in the middle of a bear market or at the bottom of a bear market was very pleasing. But it took a few seasons to get here. The first season, like your first season, hey, I did all right. And then boom, got wrecked. My first season, piddling around 14, 15, nothing. 16, things started to look better, started getting invested in stuff. And then of course, 17, we all won. You can throw a dart at a board and pick the crypto that it landed on and make some damn money off of it. That's, the way it was in 17, all the way up until the crash. But I never made sure I never did risk. And I always spoke to people about that. Like, do not put yourself in a position, because I know a lot of people during the SAC phase put themselves in positions that they're not comfortable in right now. And that's where a lot of people who've left, people who are fighting, people who are having problems right now, it's because they didn't listen and because they over leveraged themselves and they weren't prepared for what Richard puts on the very front page of the hex.com website. These cryptos go down 85 to 90%. We have dips all the time. Always comes back. So far, it's always come back. It's always made all-time highs again. So who's to say this time is any different? I don't think it's any different. It's just another blip on the way to up and to the right. That's it. Just another blip. And it's how you react in that blip that's important. You never lose. You never lose if you don't sell. You've always got it. As soon as you sell,
either the thing goes to zero, but
lose.
like if you bought Amazon and held it, and only a couple of people have, it is also a dip for
right.
I don't know.
Maybe they forgot about it.
They got
I guess Amazon
they didn't. Yeah. But yeah, we have a whole new asset class here. People didn't understand yet what's going to happen. This is not only DeFi. This is going into everything. And the term that I've been calling out for a couple of weeks or a month now is algocracy. So you let basically good math and immutable math decide things, and that can be used for more than finance. It can be used for other stuff like law and other things in society, and it will benefit everything. And then just being another asset class, crypto has, and especially DeFi has, just a whole lot to catch up, right? Like when gold, when the market cap of all of stocks in the world. So I'm convinced that within the next, my opinion, no advice, 5 to 10 years, 15 years, all of crypto is now worth maybe like in market cap, which is not really the value, but it's like called market cap, let's say $1 trillion, and it'll be at least 100x within a time frame, and the better performing assets within will of course outperform the others. So we are just in my opinion, we're like financially pretty well, like the OG Hexicans and stuff. What we could like do to make like all of society better, this is maybe the next step. And Richard has this longevity thing. Basically, I came to Richard because of he also knew Aubrey, and I knew about Aubrey before I knew about Richard. And this stuff is like, we're really moving super fast. Future is coming fast. Things are maybe going shitty for a while, but compared to the last 15,000 years, the next 30 years are going to be awesome. That's what I think.
Maybe.
Yeah, and I'm.
We don't get regulated out of
smoking,
existence.
And
I think there's going to be a lot of other changes.
showing. other memes.
4 or 5. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of changes. And I think Richard put a bunch of them down on the table. I think that his whole ecosystem is going to have it's completely removed from crypto. It really is. It's not crypto. It's not the everything else that's been out there. Pulse Chain is not. Pulse X is not. Hex is not. Anything that's being built within those ecosystems to wrap T-shares and do all those things. I mean, this is a completely separate system from crypto. It's not the same bag. It's not the same promise coin, shit coin, liars, cheats, and thieves anymore. This is real DeFi, real tools for people to go out and build real DeFi. And I think Hex, of course, is hands down going to be still the goat of DeFi. Pulse and Pulse X ought to do really, 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 really well in this new space. And all the bridging and all the action from Pulse X is going to be bringing the masses over to this platform. And I think we're going to see some new innovations coming out of the Richard Heart ecosystem. You know, there's already people building some really cool stuff on it. And again, there's nothing new under the sun, but these things are going to start replacing traditional products and strategies and tactics that people are using in the real world are now going to be able to be utilized in crypto because of the tools that are coming, because of the DeFi tools that are coming, because of the ease of use that's coming with Pulse Chain, because of the yield farm, because of everything that's going to be in this DeFi space. It's going to be really, really good. I'm not saying that we're going to monster X everything. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that the tools that we're going to see when Pulse Chain launches are going to be amazing. They're going to be the best that crypto's had to offer.
Hopefully. So I was in the chat. I haven't been in the Pulse Chain or Pulse X chat in a while, partly because no one's in there in the bear market. But when I asked people, what are you going to do if your bags go up? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to sell. I'm like, okay. And how much, like, what are you going to do with the money? And they're like, oh, yeah, I'm going to retire. I'm like, okay, but don't you want to do something more? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. Well, hopefully for those of you watching, hopefully you won't sell and you'll do something really smart, which is borrow against it. And because the rich, you don't get taxed on loans. So one thing that you could do is borrow against it and then buy up companies in this bear market that's going to be happening where businesses are selling for pennies on the dollar. And then when the market comes back, I'm not talking about the crypto market, I'm talking about the physical market. And then, you know, that's my plan, to borrow against it, buy up businesses, and then have that income coming into, the store of value called Hex. And then the other thing that you can do that I don't hear many people talk about. People are like, oh yeah, I want to start a startup. It's sexy, to go out of business. That's the great thing. That's the new sexy.
Yeah.
And it's like, when you rather buy a business and that already has a profit, that already has been in business for at least 10 years and all this other stuff. There's I'll look up the guy's name, but he talks about like 0 down deals, and his last name is Fraser, not to be confused with a TV show, but very intelligent guy. And he's like, yeah, this could be a good marriage between buying businesses where the owner wants to sell just because they're retiring or they have a death in the family or they're willing sellers, and then using the crypto to actually fund that.
There's tons of businesses in Germany that will have no followers, like no kids, no one. They're being bought up or they just die, and you can grab them off the market, but you have to do the business if you like to do that business.
Yeah, and that's the other. See, I like assets myself. I mean, I've got enough of my own businesses, and they're all headaches. But some people like going out there. I mean, That's so. Let me take a step back into some strategy with people, just to talk a little bit about, like, I retired from my job because of Hex.
Interesting
And
word. Let's define it later.
Yeah, and it's not that I retired. I got to leave my job, and so I basically retired from the work world. I've always been a two-dimensional person when it comes to being an entrepreneur and being a blue-collar worker. I was a blue-collar worker in a non-union field, and I worked union in it also. So I, spent 30 years as a millwright, a trade. I worked with my hands. I moved heavy equipment, built machines, that kind of stuff. And so I've lived in these two worlds, but because of what I did in Hex, I was able to blow out one end of the candles. And I want to show people kind of what that looks like and what did it for me and what made it to where I don't have to dump on people's heads, but I can live a lifestyle the way I want, when I want, where I want, how I want, with who I want to do it. That's my lifestyle.
What are you doing now? Are you working now, or are you just?
Well, I have 3 businesses
at that moment. No. In this last 5 minutes, have you been retired or have you been working? It's one and the same thing.
This is
for
finally
you now.
So this is the freedom. Hold on, UFO, be quiet. Let me talk. So when I look at what we do here, so all these self-help books that I started reading as I became an adult and started learning that, hey, I needed something more. I needed what these college educated people had. I need to be able to break into that world, to get that networking going and learn. So I started reading those books, those self-help books. And I started to, learn how to change my situation. And what I did here is I just applied some principles. And one of the things that I did was I made sure that, I was going to set up a time horizon. So with the way Hex crypto started and the way it was going, and we were all starting to build our staking ladders, our stakes, we were all starting to put stakes out. And, some people just throw 15-year stakes out. Some throw 10, some just willy-nilly throw stakes, whatever. Some people know how to build a staking ladder. But I used a combination of a lot of different things to put myself in the position that I'm in today. Of course, I got in early. It was day one, only I didn't get in day one. I let the FOMO roll, and then I got in the middle of January. So I was able to buy a nice dip and get in early. And so with that, I learned what Hex was and what it meant to my future, because that's what was most important to a 50-something-year-old guy, was what can this do for me? Because see, I'm in that position that your parents were in when they left that country. They wanted to get out of there. I needed something to get. I needed to make action now and make sure I committed to that action and worked it. I had a plan, and I was going to work that plan and get to where I needed to go. Because I don't have a lot of time like some of you folks have. You guys, some of you younger guys, you got a lot of time left to make decisions, make mistakes. I couldn't make any freaking mistakes. This was it for me. This was my brass ring moment. So I decided that I was going to make some preparations and learn how CDs were staked and how they laddered them and how they did all these things. So I did a lot of studying, and I said, okay, so one of the strategies I was going to use was I was going to pick out life events that I thought would happen in the next 5-10 years, events that did happen, anniversaries, birthdays, things like that. Holiday season.
Happy birthday. Because I missed your birthday because last time you were 56. So that must have been.
Thank you. A while ago. But anyway, so I made my event stakes, I call them. So every year I had a Christmas stake coming out. I had, birthday stakes for all my kids and college. I thought, no, this kid's going to be going to college about this time. So I'm going to start putting a ladder there for him and one for her and one for the little one. And, so I did all that. And then I started, okay, well, when do I want to leave the workforce and have crypto paying for my my monthly nut. What I gather in income, how can I make crypto do that? So I started an income ladder, and I pushed it 3 years out into the future. 3 years. 3 years. I delayed the gratification of a staking ladder, not of big stakes of millions of dollars coming out, just enough that I thought maybe I could survive every month on at the rate Hex was growing. So I did. I staked out every month for 6 years because I thought that was the average staking length. So I'm going to do 6 years. And every time one of those stakes comes out, when they do come to maturity, I'm going to take a piece of it off and then put the other piece back on the other end and just keep that staking ladder perpetually rolling, and always having a 6-year stake coming out. Once they get to the 6 years, then all the stakes that come out are going to be 6 years old. Very nice maturity rate there. A nice 6-year stake, monthly income. Let's do this. So we get to 3 years, and those Hex that went from 0.0000056 cents or whatever it was are now 0.03 cents, 0.05 cents, 12 cents, 15 cents, 30 cents, 50 cents at the top. So I created a ladder of income that can take care of all my needs without having to dump on the community, without having to dump on Hex's head. So, and now every once in a while, a nice big stake comes out, and I get to do with that what I wish. Whether I want to stake a bunch more of it, which is my strategy, is to stake as much of it as I can, because when those T-shares come out, I don't know if any of you have started to experience this yet, but when you have to mint that Hex and those T-shares are gone, man, it's a heartbreaking experience. Let's just say you want those T-shares. It's like I just shut down a bunch of my miners, right? So the goal is to get back out there and put some more in, because those are the things that are doing the work for my future, my family's future and everything. So I want more of those T-shares. So that's why I love Hex, because once you understand it and once you start to use it and utilize it and take advantage of it like I am, then the mentality is we have such a saving mentality going on, such an abundant mentality happening that we don't want to just dump those things. In crypto before, if I ever made some money on something, I wanted to dump that shit. I mean, I would make plans to dump that shit. We'd be like high-fiving in chat rooms going, I just dumped that shit on everybody's heads. It was like a badge of honor, right?
Yeah, you get your paycheck and
I got mine.
Yay,
I got my side. What did you do? What'd you do, boy? I got my side. And that's not the mentality here. That's not the culture or the attitude or the action that Hex is permeating. And that's what it's not what people are doing. They're looking at it and going, wow, I just lost a T-share. I just lost 10 T-shares, 20 T-shares, 30 T-shares, whatever. I got to go get some of those back. Okay, it's nice. How much money do I need? Just about this much money is what I need. This is going back in and getting staked, because
you also switched your mind that T-shares is the stable coin that you're thinking about, and not the US dollar and not anything else. And you have switched your mind that from like leaving that kind of workforce kind of thing. You're still doing stuff, and being retired for you means like doing even more stuff than you did when you're on that like blue collar working kind of site for the monthly or weekly paycheck thing. This is what I guess. This is what I see, and it has been for me mostly all of my life, because I never had this. I have work from 9 to 7, and then I have my free time, and then I have 10 days of holidays and whatever stuff. I was always kind of wanting to do my own stuff, and if it failed, it failed, and it fucking failed. But I, got back up, and then it was okay, and it was super, super okay, and then it failed again, and then now, like with like in the last 3 years, I wouldn't say I was pretty lucky, because I was really working hard on finding something that is really good. So I would put that credit on myself a bit for educating myself. But what happened these 3 years was like in my private life was like so shitty. You don't even want to hear it. And on the financial side, it was totally okay. And I'm here at let me see, 5:09 in the morning, talking to people on the internet that can watch this video within the next 1,000 years, probably, including the AI, like watching it all. And just telling people how humans are, and what is happening, and how you can just go on and learn, educate yourself, and find a way to do it. And if you call it work or retirement or whatever, just call it life and call it one thing. This is my kind of thought to look at things.
Thanks. All right, fellas. Well, it's been 2 hours. We're gonna get going here. Matt, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you, man. You got anything you wanted to drop before you bail on it, before we turn everything off?
I'd be interested in hearing from you about your businesses. It'd be interesting to learn that.
Oh, well,
sometime or another time.
Yeah, well, I mean, my businesses here are I have I'm part owner of the Hex Investment Trust, founder of the Hex Investment Trust. I also have a company called MCA, Mountain Crypto Advisors. We're a small family shop, help people onboard, offboard with their crypto into financial trust products that protect their assets and help mitigate taxes. So that's MCA. And then we have a movie production company that helped to produce The Highest of Stakes, which is the documentary that Richard Hart and myself are in. And and right now we're working on another project, so I'll probably have business number 4 under the belt here in the next couple months once we get things going here with Pulse Chain and our product. But that's what I do now. I just have crypto, and then I do the stream thing, which is just a community service kind of deal. I don't make any money here. I stream because I care about this community. I stream because I care about this ecosystem, because all of you Hexicans that come in here all have some value to add to the community. And it's nice to be able to showcase folks that do have something else going on, other than, hey, I'm just into this crypto and I'm going to get mine and I'm out of here. This community has really contributed a lot to itself and in building it and supporting each other and supporting the other projects, supporting all of ourselves and the brains that we have in this community that are now streaming and sharing that knowledge with everybody. I do this because I love it now. And this is my life at this moment. I don't know if I'll always do this, but it's a lot of fun. And
so retirement sounds,
to whom much is given, much
nice
is
now.
expected. So but I had both ends of the candle burning, and now I only have the one that I want burning, and it's because this is so much fun for me to be involved in this incredible crypto hex. Just being involved in it, being able to get out in front and being the battle hardened people. I mean, that just gives me a freaking hard on, because I mean, we paid our dues. We got our asses handed to us. We got laughed at. We got destroyed. We got memed. We got beat up, you know, from outside the crypto community to within the Bitcoin community, within the Hex community. We all just kept getting beat up and beat up and beat up. And guess what? I'm still here, and most of you motherfuckers ain't. So,
and wait until it gets more. We will be attacked as hell, and we will stand.
And it's great, because my life's just getting better and better and better. And we're getting more and more scars. We're getting harder. We're being forged. We're being annealed. We are the backbone of this new DeFi movement and Richard Hart's system. And I mean, I pity the fools that keep coming up against us. We have wrecked all of them, on top of Richard handing them all their asses and slitting all of their throats right there in front of everybody to see them bleed out. We've just been hammering them and hammering them and hammering them, because every time we turn around, everything that Discourse Syndicate has on video here has been the truth. We spoke nothing but the truth. There is not one video that had to be taken down because people got wrecked from it. There's not one video that was up there that ever did anything to shill any platform or scam or anything. I mean, we've had scammers come onto the show because of the nature of the show. But it's fallen on deaf ears. Their scams, their crap that they shill, it's fallen on deaf ears. So I love doing what I do. I'm going to keep doing it until either I can't do it anymore, or everybody's just, you know, there's 0 viewers on the chart there, on the number chart there.
Yeah. And
so anyway, that's my business. Is long answer to that. So
yeah, and please keep on doing it, because it is exactly the thing that the others don't do. So try to be resilient, try to commit yourself to this, which you already know how it goes, and then retirement will be just having more fun, doing more stuff than you did before.
Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for coming again, Max. You have a good one, man.
Outro.
Outro. All right. See you guys.